Lately, Pope Benedict delivered a speech in which he said, lay people should understand that they are co-responsible for building the church. Now, I am sure he did not really mean to say that lay people must do more church work, helping the priests, becoming sacristan, or a communion minister, or a choir member, or a member of a church organization. That is all good, but what he really wanted to say here, I guess, is that the first responsibility of lay people is to build the church, the kingdom of God, in the world, in the place where they live. Dear friends, due to his or her particular position as a lay person, she or he is involved in many situations which the priest in the church will never be confronted with. He sees and he does many things. He gets in contact with many people the priest will seldom meet. And it is there that the specific task of the layman begins, in the world, by his helpfulness and courtesy, by his honesty and trustworthiness, by the way he performs his job, by the tone he sets in his daily conversation, by everything that is good and well spoken and well done. No priest can take that over from him. If the lay people will fail here, then the church as a whole will fail. To put it in a few practical examples, if you happen to be a Christian politician, what Christ expects from you is that you work wholeheartedly for the good of your country first, and not just only for your own personal glory. If you are a Christian doctor, Christ expects from you that you would treat all the sick alike, not only those who are well off, but also and especially the poor. If you are a policeman, you are to show your Christian faith by upholding the law and enforcing it as fairly as you can, not trying to bend the rules for your own benefit or for the benefit of your friends and families. A Christian employer is expected to pay fair wages and create decent work conditions for his employees. And a Christian worker should know his job and try to carry it out to the very best of his ability. A Christian shopkeeper or businessman will never overcharge, but give value for money. And a Christian parent will do his very best to create a loving home for his children first of all, taking more interest in their physical and spiritual well-being than in his own hobby or promotion or money or career, etc. That is your duty, not the duty of the priest or of a nun. I suppose much of what the Pope was trying to say can be summed up by simply stating that the way a lay person should live outside in the world must not be selfish and egocentric, but it must be a life of loving and humble service. If anybody wants to be first, says Jesus in the Gospel of today, he must make himself last of all and servant of all. The other day, somebody told me the rather funny story of a traffic jam in one of Singapore's main roads. Everybody had been so much in a hurry, so much determined to get priority to all other car drivers, that at last the whole traffic got stuck. Buses, taxis, lorries, they were blocking each other in such a way that none of them could move anymore, neither forwards nor backwards. Stories of this kind seem to me more or less characteristic for our human society as it is. People are sometimes so self-centered and narrow-minded, so absolutely determined to get priority and to get their own way in spite of it or at the cost of others, that at last the whole traffic of our society gets stuck in the church, in politics, in family life, in the relation between parents and children, employers and employees, races and nations. Everybody wants to be first, no one last. And because everybody wants to be first and no one last, our world is not peaceful anymore, but continually at war and stuck. God, however, the God of Jesus, is different. He preferred to ride on a donkey. He washed the feet of fishermen and lived with the poor. He felt very much moved by the sincere sorrow of a tax collector, but totally put off by the pride of the Pharisee. He is a simple and a humble God, and one of his most favorite images of a true Christian is the picture of a child. I bless you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the clever and revealing them to mere children. Dear friends, are we willing to follow such a humble God? Are we ready sometimes, so to speak, to ride on a donkey in this life and to be his servant? Do we trust the Christian revelation enough to really believe that this is the way to salvation? We need not find it an easy road. We need not find ourselves absolutely able to fulfill all its requirements at once. But do we accept at least that this serving humility is the road we have to go, the ideal ahead of us, according to which we should try to pattern our lives? The question is important, because if we do not accept this ideal, not even as a try, then we do not have the right to call ourselves Christians, and we should be honest enough to leave this church in order to seek our salvation somewhere else.